Hey there, folks. I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. You know, there are many different sci-fi films that folks love to watch. Some of the most famous being Star Wars and Star Trek. Also, there are some funny ones like Spaceballs, scary ones like Alien, romantic ones like Passengers, and action-packed films like the Guardians of the Galaxy. However, when it comes to animation, sometimes it can be a bit of a mixed bag. Of course, some of the worst ones being Mars Needs Moms, Space Chimps, and Escape from Planet Earth, but over the years, I did look at some decent sci-fi films like Jetsons the Movie, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, DreamWorks Home, The Iron Giant, Disney's Treasure Planet, and of course Pokemon Destiny Deoxys. However, ever since the ending of 2016, the year of animal movies, there was one certain animated sci-fi film that I've been wanting to look at, and tonight, I'd like to share my personal thoughts about it with all of you watching. So, let's get started. Released in the United States on April 14th, 2017, the movie is Spark: A Space Tale. Now, on for the plot of the movie. Spark is a wisecracking teenage monkey living on an abandoned planet with his friends Chunk and Vix ever since his evil uncle, Emperor Zong, seized control of his home planet Bana 13 years prior. Later, Spark finds out about Zong's secret plan to take over the universe by capturing a giant space monster known as the Kraken and plans to use its power to create black holes and destroy the universe. So, it's up to Spark and his friends to stop him while facing great dangers and discovering the secret of his true identity along the way. So, what do I personally think of the movie? Well, it was pretty good. Not great, but yeah, pretty good. But to further explain why I enjoy the film, let's move on to Mustang notes. The film was directed by Aaron Woodley, who would later direct Arctic Dogs. And in case you're wondering, yes, I did blog it last winter, and I still think it's an okay movie, but not one of the best animated films of 2019, though I still state that Angry Birds 2 is the absolute worst during that year. Anyway, Woodley also serves as one of the film's writers and editors. The studio responsible for the computer animation is ToonBox Entertainment, who you may remember for animating the two wacky and nutty Nutjob movies. And in my opinion, while it's not Pixar great, I think the animation for this film is pretty creative, especially since this film is set in a galaxy with anthropomorphic animals. As for the story, well, while it does give Space Chimps a run for its money, I think the writing is a tad rushed a little bit. Plus, it kind of feels reminiscent to Star Wars, Sonic SatAM, and Journey to the West. Also, while several parts were pretty funny, there was a very predictable pun that made me facepalm myself because of how old it is. But on the other hand, the space battle at the ending climax was absolutely badass. And I also like the scene where Spark tames a swarm of mutated roaches. And that's basically all I got for Mustang notes. So, let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. The title character, Prince Spark, is voiced by Jace Norman, best known from Nickelodeon's Henry Danger. You know, I really like this character. Sure, he can be a bit risky and irresponsible in the beginning of the film, but after learning about his origins, Spark becomes a great leader. Also, I like his roach sidekick Floyd, vocalized by Aaron Woodley himself. Next we come to Spark's caretaker, Lieutenant Vix, voiced by Justin Timberlake's wife, Jessica Biel, who got to be in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2010 Valentine's Day, and the 2011 New Year's Eve film. Now, like Monkey from Kubo and the Two Strings, Vix is a very protective and motherly character. Plus, she isn't afraid to get her hands dirty and fight back harder. At the same time, Vix is also compassionate to others and to those she trusts. Moving on, we also have Chunk, Spark's buff warthog friend, voiced by Rob DeLeo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, I find this character to be a very crafty mechanic and inventor. Plus, I think Chunk has some of the funniest moments ever in the entire film. Finally, we come to Spark's evil uncle, Emperor Zong, voiced by Alan C. Peterson, who got to be in Agent Cody Banks and Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. Now, in my eyes, despite his small size, Zong is a nasty and tyrannical character due to the fact that he's been ruling Banna with an iron fist. And he's also really insane when he plans to destroy other planets in the galaxy, using the Kraken to do it. Other voice actors in the film include Susan Sarandon, Patrick Stewart, Hilary Swank, and Athena Karkanis. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Spark: A Space Tale is not that bad of a movie. Sure, it does have a few flaws, like the story feeling a bit rushed, and it kind of feels reminiscent to other properties, but on the positive side, the animation by ToonBox is still pretty good. It has several memorable characters and awesome space action. Also, so far, this has got to be the most underrated animated movie out of the 3 ToonBox films. So, if you folks get the chance, be sure to check it out. I give this film a 77% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time where we look at an underrated Mars movie from the early 2000s. Mustang Power.